Hey, welcome back to Seek the Beast on the Minecraft Feed the Beast server. We're back in the secret base, and today we're gonna set up another system for the generation of lava. You can see way up here, oh gosh, this is always so weird to navigate in reverse. We got 3 lava tanks that have been empty for a while, and that is unacceptable. And they're gonna continue to get lower and lower whenever I use my magmatic engines, and I'd like to start using them more often. So, we're going to need more lava. So you may remember some time ago, Generic B and I met in Spawn Village for sort of an illicit, shady black market deal, where he gave me, where did I put it? No, not on you. He gave me the Fiendish Queen, which produces simmering combs. And what happens with simmering combs? Well, I'll tell you. You take the simmering combs, and you stick them in a centrifuge, and you get phosphor. Now, what do you do with that? Well, I'll tell you that as well. Don't be so impatient, okay? Phosphor, you'd stick that guy in a squeezer with either sand, dirt, or cobblestone, and you get lava, just like that. A 2-step process, which we're gonna build a setup for. But first, before I do that, let's talk about a couple things. One, you may notice my voice sounds a little different. I've got a new microphone finally. I've upgraded. No more blue snowball ever again. I have upgraded to the Shure SM7B, and I'm running it through a M-Audio Fast Track C400 preamp, which then connects into my computer. It's a pretty well-regarded, well-reviewed studio microphone and broadcasting microphone. It's been used in a lot of stuff. One of the things that I heard mentioned most often, like the little quote that was in every review, was that Michael Jackson used it to record Thriller with, and a lot of other musicians use it. Radiohead uses them. It's used in a lot of radio stations and podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is my new microphone. I'm still getting used to it, and it may take me a while to get all the kinks out and like really learn how to get the most out of it for my voice to sound the best. So let me know in the feedback of the comments section what you think of it. It's a dynamic mic. Most microphones that people use for YouTube are condenser microphones. The Blue Snowball is a condenser, and the Blue Yeti that a lot of other people on Minecraft use also condenser. It's dangerous flux. It's it's much more sensitive. So if I move away from the microphone, I get quieter much quicker. I'm probably much more quieter way back here. It's going to take me a while to get used to staying super close to the microphone. I'm just not used to it. So bear that in mind. But let me know what you think of the way it sounds. Anyway, what I come down here to say? So we're going to do kind of a similar setup. Here we've got a series of magma crucibles which are melting netherrack. Now the netherrack is being fed into here by regulators. The regulators are being shut off when they're full by these AND gates, sending power to turn off the timer, which is when the timer is active, it sends pulse to the filter, which sends netherrack from our barrel out to the regulators. We're going to do something similar. So let's come up here. I have to craft a few things before we can get started. I have almost everything else we're going to need. But if you remember from what I showed you, so we have simmering combs from our B. And for the time being, I've stopped producing them because I didn't have this set up. But I'm going to start making them again. But anyway, you take the simmering comb, and you're going to put it in a centrifuge, which is a part of the B section of forestry. And I have not done anything in forestry at all. I haven't touched it at all. Anytime I need trees or saplings or reeds, I go back to Spawn Village and use the farms there that are there for everyone. So this is sort of using anything in forestry is kind of new to me. But forestry is sort of a buildcraft based mod, so it needs engines to run on engines that they give it Minecraft jewels. Anyway, so we're going to need centrifuges to create this phosphor stuff. They're going to need to be powered with Minecraft jewels, and those engines are also going to have to receive redstone signal. Then we're going to need to take this phosphor out of here and send that to a squeezer, also from forestry. Now we're going to have to put not just the phosphor, but either sand, dirt, or cobblestone in our squeezer in order to get the lava. And so we're going to need to be inputting cobblestone, which is what I'm going to use because I have so much of it. We're going to be putting cobblestone in there as well. And then we're going to need to be taking lava out. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. I extended the project tables here, so we have a little bit more space. So I'm going to need, for this particular setup, 3 centrifuges and 3 squeezers. Now, the way I've set this up is that it's tileable. It's going to be a sort of a vertical design, 1 block wide. And if I want to expand it at any point in the future, let's say I start using only magmatic engines because they're cool, because they take lava, and I need way more lava, and I get way more bees, and I have way more simmering combs, I can expand this thing at any time. I can just make it wider and wider, which is kind of a neat design. Cube Hamster, I like watching Cube Hamster's videos because he makes a lot of modular designs that are 1 block wide that you can tile. I like that kind of thing, so that's what we're going to do. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. Actually, I just thought of something here, but well, we'll get to that. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle, and this puzzle can go together in a lot of different ways. So the way I put it together is not the only way it can go together. It's probably not even the most efficient. There's a lot of things in Feed the Beast, which I haven't even gotten around to fiddling around with. I mean, I think last time I counted, there was over 8,000 items in the game, in the mod pack. It's ridiculous. So, caveat that the way I'm going to do it is not the only way to do it. Now, here's something that's kind of an issue. If these ever update and connect, I'm going to have to move these sideways. But anyway, we're going to do this from the end. We're going to sort of do it in reverse engineer it. And we're going to start at the end of the process with the squeezer and taking the lava out. And we're just going to use these very convenient liquid ducts to do that. And I want to center the thing underneath this platform so that it kind of lines up and looks cool. Okay, so the squeezer. The squeezer is going to sit on top of these guys. And then we need to reverse the valve so that when we have lava in there, it's going to come out. And a little bit later, we need to add redstone signal to these blocks so that they will activate and lead out. And as long as these never update and don't connect, we'll just leave them like that. So from here, let's see, what should we do next? We need to think of this, proceed backwards if we're reverse engineering it. So we're going to have the phosphor. We need to take this phosphor and bring it down to the centrifuges or the squeezers. So we're going to add some pipes here. And above here, we're going to add the centrifuges. But before we do that, let's add some engines. Each of these guys needs an engine of some kind with Minecraft jewels. So we'll put those up there like that. And all the engines need redstone power. And again, like I said, there's probably a little bit more compact way to do this. There's different ways to power the engines. We got some lava dripping from up there. There's different ways to do it. So this is by no means meant to be like the most efficient way possible. Oops. Caveat, as if that wasn't going to be obvious already. But I'm sure you could make it a little more. Ooh, what happened there? A little more compact, with some of the ways that you can combine item dispersal and redstone power and things like that. Okay, so then up here, we got some. You see the block lag? Up here, we're going to add the centrifuges. Okay, and then from here, we're going to need some wooden pipes. So the simmering combs are going to be placed in here, into the squeezers, or the centrifuges. I keep getting the names backwards. Man, we are getting a lot of lag tonight. I don't know exactly what's going on. I am the only one online, but I guess we'll just have to deal with it. So anyway, once we put our simmering combs in the centrifuge, it's going to give us some wax stuff, which we don't want, which you can make some capsules for. If you happen to have a use for them, I don't have a use for them. So, but we need to sort of, we need to sift that stuff out and send it somewhere else. So I'm going to separate them out here so that that stuff is going to come up here and over in this direction. Actually, let me give myself a little platform to stand on. It's going to go out that way, and then the phosphor, which we do want, which is going to give us lava, is going to come down this way. And I actually don't have any, but eventually I'll change it so that the black filters make the phosphor go down, and the white filter or gray, whatever color that is, will make those go up. So let's swap those around. Okay, so that takes care of that side. Now we need to add stone to this side, and we need to add the simmering combs to this side. And for that, we're going to use our old friends, the regulators. And this is, you could just brute force this, and I thought about doing that, just making a simpler process, but I may end up having a lot of bees at some point and having a lot of production of simmering combs. So I thought it might be a good idea to sort of put some regulation in place, which is why we're using regulators. So basically, these regulator guys, if you don't remember from when I made my other setup, you want to make it, the way to make them line up properly, you want it to look like whatever item they're connecting to is wearing a hat. Like this thing is a hat. That's the correct way to make it look. And then we need some of these pneumatic tubes. Oh, okay, come on. Building in midair. Why do I always make floating bases? This is so frustrating to build sometimes. So we're going to do the same on these three. And then spin them around until they're wearing hats. Like so. Yep. Okay, and then they're going to get the same. Okie dokie, artichokey. I did a little bit or most of the construction off camera just to speed things up, otherwise the video would have been too long and boring. I didn't want to bore you. Anyway, I put some panels and blocks here. We're going to put some wiring there in just a second. The reason I initially came up with this sort of system, well, besides for the fact that it was just fun and I enjoyed it, but the reason that I sort of designed it this way and the reason I'm designing it this way is that I had a feeling that just leaving timers on all the time would create lag, and I wanted to figure out a way to turn the timer off when we don't need it on. So that's what the whole system is about. It's about the timer only being on when it needs to be on, and so we're using some AND gates and some wiring to sort of get that to happen. So that's why we're using these regulator guys, and what the regulators do is they are put next to an inventory, in this case a squeezer, and you can set it up so that if the squeezer doesn't have, or the inventory, whatever it is, if they don't have what you want them to have, the regulator will send it over, but if they do have it, the regulator won't. It regulates what gets sent to the inventory. Another thing I did, I connected up the cobblestone. One of the things we're going to need is cobblestone. We're going to need a lot of it. So I'm going to place this here. And on top of it, we're going to put a barrel. And we're going to make this guy extra dimensional. And I'm going to, while I'm talking, I'm going to start porting over a lot of cobblestone. And I redirected this guy, which was going over to make glass. I redirected him so that he'll go over there. Eventually, I may automate this in the master control platform so that it selects intelligently. But for now, it's just either or. So I'm going to start filling this guy up. We're going to have a lot of him. And then under here is a filter. And I actually need, the reason I turned that on, I need some cobblestone to start setting this up. Okay, give me a decent amount of that. On this side, we're going to do a similar thing. This side is going to hold the simmering combs. Oops. Simmering combs is going to go right there. We're going to make that extra dimensional, even though I don't have that many right now. And this diamond chest right here, I'm gonna change that, to being a barrel as well in a bit. Not right this second. Okay, so let me fill this guy up. So when you come here, this is sort of the central area to check if you have enough of things. So let's see, do I have enough? Let's get a little bit more cobble. So anyway, the cobble is going to be connected to this filter, and the filter tells it how much to let through. I'm going to say let through 30 at a time. Whoop. And then the filter is going to send the cobble down through this pneumatic pipe into the regulators, which is connected up under there. And so the regulators are going to say, okay, how much do I let into the inventory? This center guy is the regulator's inventory, also called the buffer. And I'm going to say let 30 into the regulator. So I'm going to do that for all three. Let 30 in there. Okay. And then the regulator also wants to know how many items should be in here before I send what's in my inventory into this inventory. So if we're telling this guy to keep 30 in here, I'm going to tell it whenever there is 31 or more in the squeezer, don't send stuff into the squeezer. So we'll do that just like that. Don't send stuff into squeezer when there's 31 cobblestone. So first thing it's going to do is send 30 in. And then it's going to say, okay, well, how much is in the squeezer? And it's going to say, well, there's 30 in there. And you're asking for 31 to be the cutoff. So I'm going to send 30 more in. It's going to say 60. 60 will be in there then. And it's going to say, well, that's more than 31. So I'm going to stop sending stuff into the squeezer until the 60 cobblestone in the squeezer gets used up. And we get all the way down to 30 again. And then I'll send more in. So it's a way of controlling just how much you're doing. Let's see. Let's do this. And then let's go ahead and turn on a timer. Whoop. We're going to turn on a timer that's going to power up through here, power this block to power that guy. And then we're going to have wire connected down to there. And it's going to go around there and back here and going to connect to an AND gate like so. And the AND gate is going to have 3 inputs. Whoops. And it's going to accept signal from those 3 guys. Oh, okay. Man, the lag is driving me nuts. And we need to divide them up kind of like this so that we get unique signal from each one. Okay. So all of these, if I right-click on the regulator, if the lag would let me. There's nothing in here, so there's no redstone signal. So the AND gate is not turned on, so there's no redstone signal going up here. And so if we put a timer down, it's gonna work. And we're gonna put it up to 30 seconds, should be good. So every 30 seconds it's gonna pulse that filter. The filter is set to 30. It's going to send 30 down to these guys. And as they get full, they're going to send a redstone signal to the AND gate. Once all of them are full, it's going to turn this line on and it's going to shut down the timer. Preventing lag and curing all ailments on the server. Okay, so basically we have to do that exact setup, more or less, on the other side, but with simmering combs. So give me a few of these. Okay. So it works the same way. We're going to do a smaller amount, though, because I just don't have enough simmering cones at the moment. If I end up with like a zillion of them, then we'll do something like that. But we're going to set all of them up almost exactly the same, just with a smaller amount, like I just said. Like that. Oh, and you're getting sucked in. No, 16. And then we need 17 here. Okay. Open sesame. Open sesame, regulator. There's 16, and this guy... okay, he doesn't say anything yet. Okay, well, we'll just leave that like that. So we need to put down another AND gate, like so. And we need to connect it up to 3 inputs, like that. And then we need to send the... we need to send the power up to another timer. Right here. And we'll set this guy to 30 as well. I may need to adjust these timings in the future. Okay, so those have all been sent. They're all full. All full. And so power is being set to the AND gate. Timers are off. Okay, so the last thing before we can turn the sucker on is we need a kill switch so that when we run out of simmering combs, which I'm going to actually fairly quickly, at least at first, until I start making them again, we need a kill switch so that if we're out, the timers will shut off, because the timers only stay off with these AND gates if the machines are full. But what if after a certain point I'm going to run out of simmering combs, then the timers are going to keep spinning because they're going to keep wanting to send stuff to the empty machine. So we need a kill switch. We're going to have one of our transceivers send power into a NOT gate. Oop, that wrong one. Into a NOT gate, and then I need to shift it so that it only has the output going up like that into this block. Okay, so we've got that receiver, or that receiver and this receiver, both hooked up to our master control panel up there. So when we flip it on, it's going to power all these engines. We also need to turn on these guys so that the lava can exit. And right now we don't have any of the phosphor in there, but let's go turn it on. Make sure everything is working properly. Okay, so here's the switch for it. Let's see if everything is going. Engines are working. Good, good. And we've got, here we go. Yeah, we've got the wax coming up here. What you doing, wax? The wax should be going, yep, the wax is going to go up there. And while it's going, let's go ahead and replace that with a barrel. So we're going to need one of these and one of those to store all the wax in case I have a use for it at some point. I guess we could just destroy it eventually if I end up with too much of it. Yeah, okay. Oh, get there quick. Oh, that may actually be a problem because it's going in the bottom. See if it'll work. Barrels can be kind of finicky about the direction you add them to. No, it's working. But I may reroute that so that it goes in the top in a second. But for now, it's fine. Okay, so that's going up, and then the phosphor is going down here. Into there, it's getting squeezed, and lava is coming out. I can get rid of these 2 blocks. They were just scaffolding, basically. But it's working lovely. So what's going to happen when we turn it off? Not only is it going... oh gosh. Not only is it going to turn off all those engines, it's going to provide this kill switch to make sure that the power is provided to both of these timers so that they're turned off whenever we want the master control switch turned off. So if this is powered, we're going to send power to this block, which is going to send redstone signal to these guys. And that's why we're using a NOT gate. So right now, this is powered because the system is on. So the NOT gate is not sending power. You can test that just by doing that. You can see it turns off. And that one, if we isolate that as well, it will as well. So there you go, a little troubleshooting. But once we turn the lever off, there won't be power here. The NOT gate will power the block. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Lava power ho. I think next time we may go back on the escalator to work on that. I'm not sure. But we have lava. I'm going to have to start making some bees, do some breeding dance. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too confusing. Hope it made sense what I was trying to explain. All right. Whoa. Gosh, let's take a look at it. Yeah, it looks kind of neat. It looks like a spaceship or something. It's starting to look like a spaceship in dock. And while I'm thinking about it, because I know this used to be finicky, or maybe it was just taking things out of the bottom of barrel was finicky, but I'm going to go ahead and, so I don't have to think about it, let's go ahead and reroute this so that it goes up to the top of the barrel. But anyway, that's going to be it for the day. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys later. Take it easy. See you later. Bye-bye.